It's the Flip Coach, and I'm here at my newest fix and flip project, 149 Forrester in beautiful Wellington, Florida. Now, this is a very nice neighborhood in Wellington, Florida. A lot of pride in home ownership. It's Saturday. People are out cutting the grass, taking care of their landscaping. So this is a little bit higher end neighborhood. But the nice thing about this property is if this property is in good condition, it's just outdated. So we got a really good price on it. And obviously, we already determined what the scope of work was going to be with my contractors because I needed to get the budget together in order to make my offer price. But what you want to make sure that you do is always make sure you get started right away. I just closed on the property yesterday. The final wire was set at 5 o'clock. So this morning, I got the keys from the seller's representative, walked the property with my contractors. And because now all of the seller's belongings are out of the house, it's easier to get that final scope of work. So I'm going to show you guys the inside. I'm also going to show you the outside as well so that you guys can see what kind of repairs and things that I'm going to do to the house and what we're going to do to make this property that higher priced property that matches some of the comparable sales that we have in the neighborhood. Properties here are selling $1 million and up. So we're really going to make some nice improvements using a little bit higher end finishes in some areas because this is the type of neighborhood that warrants that. So let me take you guys inside and show you guys what our scope of work is going to be to make this a gorgeous property in the end. Well, unfortunately, one of the first things that you notice when you walk in is this monstrosity here. This was probably really cool back in the 70s. But the problem is that it's an eyesore. It keeps us from being able to really open up the space. And it's just not modern. It's just not part of what we want to have in this property right now. So we're actually right now checking the microfilm for when this was built over 30 years ago. And we're going to see when the engineering will tell us if there is any type of load bearing that this has for the property. If this is holding up, the roof on this side, then we're obviously going to have to do something structurally in order to take this out and still maintain the integrity of the structure of the ceiling here. But we're hoping that it's just decorative and we'll be able to completely rip this all out. Also, the entire flooring here is put in because this is actually a sunken fireplace. So there's actually a hole here in the living room. We're going to have to level this out and level it off with the rest of the floors. Now, to really create that open concept that we're looking for, obviously, we're going to open up this kitchen as well. The main thing is opening up this wall, and we're going to be putting a nice island that will be there. So that way, all of this area, once we take out the fireplace and once we open this up, this will have a really nice open feel, which is very modern and what most buyers are looking for in higher end properties like this. So this is the part of the kitchen that we want to open up. So we're going to open all of this up to give that open feeling. We're going to also take this, and this is sort of a drop ceiling that they had put the AC ducts, but we have attic space above. So we're just going to move that up into the attic so we can raise that portion. We won't put any cabinetry here, but we'll put a nice island in here with a nice cooktop on it as well. And the hood will be up there towards the ceiling, but that'll give plenty of space to still give that full open feel. And then, of course, we're actually going to move the refrigerator. We're going to move it to this side, creating like a little bit of a cupboard space for the refrigerator. And then again, that will help really open up this space. So this was an enclosed patio. They had enclosed this, we don't know how long ago, but it had to be 25, 30 years or more. You can really tell because the walls here, this is all seemingly just wood frame. It's not the concrete or CBS block that matches the original structure of the house. So that's how we know that this was added years later. And we don't think that it was even permitted. But what we're actually going to do is we're going to remove all of this. The comparable sales in the neighborhood that sold for the highest prices all had open patios in the back. We want to tie this in with our pool area because there's not much area, for people to be out in the pool. And what would you really even use this patio for? I mean, it's air conditioned, but it really doesn't make sense. So we want to open all of this up. We're going to take all of this glass out, which will save us some money actually, because instead of replacing these with hurricane impact sliders, we're just going to open it up. One thing that's important when you're rearranging your kitchen, we're going to change the existing floor plan, is still trying to keep as much of it the same as possible. There's no reason for us to change this configuration. The sink is going to remain here, which is where the plumbing is already, which goes underneath this window. So this is where the sink should be. This is where we're going to keep this. The major change that we're going to make on this side again is just raising this up so that we can get our taller, nicer shaker cabinets put in. So that's going to make a nice difference in the kitchen. We may keep this configuration. We're going to use Carrara quartz, most likely. We're going to go a little bit higher end. We're not going to use granite. So we may make that come out here just a little bit. We may keep this little L shape. It's going to depend upon how far the island from opening this wall creates and closes off this space, because we don't want to have a small space to have to walk in between the island and this. So depending upon where the island comes from, we may keep this L shape, or we may just cut the kitchen off right here so that there's no counter space, and then it's just open to what would most likely be a little small, like the breakfast area right there, because the living room or dining room is going to be on the other side. So we could have like a small little breakfast area that you eat in. So we'll make that determination once we get final measurements from this to really understand exactly how far the island's going to come out. Then we'll make the final determination. Even though we walk the property today to get the final scope, it's not always going to be 100%. You have to stay a little bit flexible, because sometimes there's changes that need to be made. Once you start demoing things and taking this wall out, we'll really be able to look at those final measurements and just make that final decision before we fabricate the quartz countertops. So with this being the wall that we're going to open, creating a really nice open space here, obviously we have to do something with these two columns. We don't know if they are structurally holding up this part of the house or if they're just purely decorative. We actually went to the attic today. One of our contractors went up there, but they have spray insulation, so we can't actually see. So eventually what we'll do is we'll go up and we'll take a look to see the same thing as this chimney. If this needs some additional engineering, we want to make sure we don't compromise the integrity of the structure of the house. So if we have to put some extra engineering plans together, we will. But I'm hoping that they're just going to be decorative. So once we knock these out and we have this open space, when you come in from the front door, this is the first thing that you're going to see, and I think it's going to have a real wow factor for our buyers. Now let's talk about flooring. So this house has a few different types of floors. There's a different tile that is here in the living room, and then the tile in the kitchen, and the tile that's on the patio, and then the tile that's in the hallway. So there's all kinds of different flooring throughout. You want more consistency, and we want to update it with something more modern. So we're going to use probably a higher end vinyl. We might even use a large tile as well. It just depends. You know, we want to improve the house, but we don't want to over improve. I want to fetch that high price, but I don't necessarily want to put finishes and things in that aren't going to get me higher than what that maximum price is. It's a hot market, it's a hot neighborhood, so it shouldn't be hard to sell. So we're going to be redoing the flooring throughout. Okay, let's talk about the rest of the house. We have a 2-car garage. The garage is very clean. We will just probably resurface the bottom of the garage, paint it, paint the interior. We will also be replacing the garage door with a hurricane-proof door and putting a motor up. They don't have a motor on now. Now it's just manual. There's also a small space in the garage for our washer and dryer. And then right inside the kitchen, there's a pantry room that we will use the same cabinetry that we are using in the rest of the kitchen and create a nice pantry so they have plenty of storage space. The property is 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. The master bedroom is a pretty good size. It has a nice size walk-in closet with a dual vanity, but there's something interesting with the shower. Not only is it very small, but it also has like a 2.5-foot drop. We have no idea why they did that. They put a sliding glass door there, and it doesn't even really lead out to anything. It's just a small little patio area that they fenced in. So we're not sure what they were thinking, but what we're going to be doing is floating the floor in the master shower. We will also be taking up the drop ceiling as well to create that extra space that we need to have plenty of room. And we'll probably put an overhead, like one of those centerpiece of rain shower heads, as well as the shower and trim and faucet that will be on the side as well. But having that nice centerpiece will be really cool. And we'll put some recessed lighting in there. So once we raise that ceiling, we'll have to put some extra electrical, but it'll look like a normal shower when we're done. The other bedrooms are a pretty good size. They're hard to see because there's no lighting in the house right now, or there's no lighting in those bedrooms. And then the second bathroom also has something interesting as well. The second bathroom, it has some type of like brick or something. I don't know what they were trying to do and what the design aspect of that was, but we will be removing all that brick. We're going to keep it as a tub shower in case they have kids. And then it has a very large dual vanity as well that unfortunately we'll have to replace and utilize that whole space. So we'll just have to spend a little bit more on a dual vanity for the guest bathroom than we would normally like to spend. Okay, so for the exterior of the house, there's not much that we have to do. You can see they already have some really beautiful landscaping here. We're just going to clean the landscaping up. We may resurface the driveway. It looks pretty good. We may not need to. Around the side of the house, the entrance to the pool, that part we may need to redo because it's not, very aesthetically pleasing right now. And we want to make sure, especially when our potential buyers pull up to the house or if they're going to be walking to the side of the house to enter the pool, we want to make sure that we've got that curb appeal. And then the last two things will be, we'll be updating, of course, new hurricane impact windows throughout and hurricane impact doors. We might put 2 doors to replace the doors that are there now, or we may do one large door, one of those modern doors that kind of opens kind of funky. So we're going to take measurements for those, and we'll see if it also fits our budget to make sure we don't over improve. So since it's raining, I guess that's the perfect end to my video, but you guys have seen everything that you needed to see. This is all of the work that we're going to be doing for 149 Forrester. Like I said, there may be a few other changes, but make sure that you guys stay tuned to these episodes because I'll be showing you guys the progress throughout, and then you'll see the final product when we're done. So I'm your flip coach. Happy investing.